maybe scoot your rear end forward just a touch. Bingo, just like so. I'm going to seat your heel all the way into the back of that chamber, and I'm going to go ahead and hit that oscillator switch. And when I do, I'm going to hold your instep and lower leg and wiggle your heel, seating it straight down into the casting tray. And then I'm going to press down on your forefoot, mainly at the first and the fifth metatarsal heads, to ensure that your forefoot sits flat into the casting tray. I'm going to do the same thing on your right foot, and then we'll play around with that shape a little bit. So, Kat, you ready to go? Mm-hmm. All right, here we go. At this point, we've got a pretty nice shape already under her foot. There's two things I want to do before I pull vacuum out of the AirVac system. One is I want to relieve some of the pressure along the lateral border of the foot and also around the radius of the heel. So the way I'm going to do that is just take my thumb and dig in along the side of her foot, running it all the way back to the heel. And then I'm going to take my other thumb and just dig a little bit out of that heel area. I'm going to give the foot a little bit of a wiggle just to smooth out any sort of inconsistencies I may have produced by doing that, and then I'm going to do it on the other side as well. Give that foot a little gentle wiggle, and we're ready to pull vacuum at this point. I'm going to throw both of these switches toward the customer. Now we're in a position where we can pull vacuum when I hit the vacuum actuator button. So as soon as I hit this, what I'd like to do is have a little bit of pressure on both forefeet, holding the first and fifth metatarsal heads flat to the floor. So I just pulled vacuum up above -5 on the black part of the gauge. So this means I could still push on this and move the casting medium around if I needed to manipulate it. It's not rock hard at this point. So Kathleen, go ahead and pull your feet out to the sides, and I'm going to use my hands just to feel the shape. If there was some sort of a strange inconsistency, a bump or a lump or something that I thought should not be there, at this tension around -5, I can manipulate that. I can rub out a little bump. I can smooth out a little bit of the sulcus crest if I needed to, and then place the customer's foot back into the casting tray. And then at this point, I need to confirm with the customer that this shape is ideal for their foot. So I have to have a little conversation. So Kathleen, the goal is we want to match the underside shape of your foot but not influence it. We're not trying to jack up your arch on a hump. We just want to match that shape. So we want a planted heel, we want a planted forefoot, we want contact everywhere underneath, but pretty easygoing contact, unobtrusive and kind of mellow, but touching everywhere and similar left and right. Doesn't have to be perfect, but pretty close. One thing to think about, this firmness is harder than your footbed's going to feel. The footbed's going to have a little flex, it's going to have a cushiony top sheet. So if we're looking good here, we're awesome on the footbed.
Feels good.
Feels good. Okay, so at this point, if the customer is happy with the shape based on the description we just gave, we're going to pull a little more vacuum and really lock out that shape so it doesn't change in the few minutes it takes for us to cook blanks. So I'm just going to hit that vacuum pump again for a second or two. And now I'm up at -10. I want to get about -10 to hold that firm. I could go higher, but this is really pretty hard at this point. It's not going to change shape. So at this point, we can go ahead and move on to cooking blanks and placing them under Kathleen's feet and proceed towards finished footbeds.